This is a great time to use a magnifying glass so you can see the edges and getting them nice and accurate. Just make sure that you're using it only where you need it, not going over the dark areas again unless they have to be darkened totally, but if you have an edge that's not aligned, you only want to make sure that your brush touches the area that's too light. Now you could say, well, I can do all this grading with the dry brush, but in fact, having that wash gradation underneath really helps to unify the surface. So don't skip the wash. I know it's very tempting. Here where it's separated a little, we can go back in and fill in with our number 2 brush. Where your paint has gone to the edges, you can always add so that it looks a little more blended. So this is really a wide vein, so we're going to thin this out considerably. Remember, you always want to match the color that it's next to. Although with green you can sometimes scrub it a little and get it to blend. Now what I'll do after I've finished painting here is I'll wait for this whole thing to dry very thoroughly. Alright, so you can see by using the Maskoid, it allows you to paint over things rather quickly, but you should have a finished leaf after this. We'll let this dry and then we'll put a wash over the top of it to unify everything. Okay, let's put another layer of blue on this glazing leaf. And then we'll wait again and put a little green down, or put a little yellow down after this again. You can see how the color is beginning to build, even though I'm still using a very light shade of blue. So now we wait for it to dry, and then we'll add another layer of yellow, and we should be pretty much there. Okay, let's put another layer of yellow on this glazing leaf. And it's getting to be more green. Alright, so we've been working on this leaf a little bit more. There are a couple areas where I had a problem, where over here I've got a little bit of an error. So I'm going to take my scrub out brush here, wet it, and since green is pretty cooperative, I should be able to get most of that out of there just by dampening it and lifting it out. Now I also noticed that some of my maskoid didn't come off here, so I'm going to have to wait till this dries very thoroughly before I can do anything about that. And I want to add a shadow along the edge of the leaf to kind of to indicate the thickness of the leaf. So I'm going to do that with dry brush. And only on part of the leaf, not the entire thing. And this will just help to give it a little bit more dimension. This area where it's wet, I'm going to leave it alone until it's thoroughly dry before I do anything more in that area. So this will help to give it a little bit more dimension. And just cleaning up some of the edges. So that it looks better. I'm going to have to wait for this to thoroughly dry to do any more work on it, but I think you get the idea at this point as to what you can do with your fine brush to refine the details. For the leaf. One more coat of yellow. Now since we're using cadmium, the yellow tends to be a little bit, or get a little bit more opaque as we add more layers. And then I'm just going to take the slightest amount of red and touch the leaf tips. Pick up what I don't like. Okay. I will see you on Tuesday.